Everybody talks big about the most popular 9mm. I did too. Last week, I laid out a stack of mags on the bench like I knew exactly how this went. Timer, same drills, same ammo, no warm-up charity. Then one of the safe, everybody loves it pistols, did something small, and my stomach dropped. I didn't trust the next shot, not for a second, and yeah, I kept running it anyway because ego, and that ego cost me a beat. Tiny hesitation, sloppy press, and the hit drifted in use like I was new. First run, I pushed speed, talked a little trash at the table, then I ate it. Not a dramatic failure, worse. The kind where the target tells on you and nobody even has to say anything. What messed with me wasn't the miss. It was the feeling that the whole lineup might not land where it should. Like something about today was going to expose more than one gun. And I didn't know which one was next. So I started at the bottom and worked up. That Ruger RXM rode on the passenger seat like it already had a trophy. On the drive over, I heard the same garbage I always hear when something sells, market decided, it's the move, all that. So I walked in expecting a confirmation lap. RXM out first, mags loaded, timer ready. Then it did the meanest thing a mid-gun can do. I ripped a short string and the sights just stayed, like the gun flattened itself. Holes stacked tighter than I deserved, and I actually laughed under my breath like, oh hell, okay. That was the moment. The wait, what moment. And then the next run slapped me. Same pace, and the recoil timing went weird. Not unsafe. Just enough that I started steering it, chasing that magic string like an idiot. My split stretched. My hits opened, and I could feel myself doing that quiet bargaining thing shooters do when they want to protect a story. Maybe it's me. No, that's me trying to keep the hype alive. By the end, the RXM didn't piss me off because it was trash. It pissed me off because I still couldn't tell which version of it I met. The flat running one or the one that needed babysitting. The paper looked normal. That was the problem. After the RXM, I stood there staring at a target that didn't have an excuse printed on it. No bad batch. No new gun learning curve. Just hits that told me I'd been chasing a feeling instead of running the drill. So the Glock 19 Gen 5 came out. Not because I cared about Glock, because I needed a reset button that didn't come with opinions. Mag slap. Rack. Beep. First run, nothing sexy. The sights lifted and came back like they did 1,000 times before. The trigger felt like a Glock trigger. No romance, no magic, and the target looked the same kind of boring as the first one. I ran it again, harder, like I wanted it to crack and give me a story. Same deal. That's when it hit me. The Glock didn't save the test. It saved me from lying. It took all that mental noise, hype, doubt, ego, and shoved it off the bench. Press clean or wear it. That's it. And I hated how calming that felt, because I'm standing there in 2026, realizing I still grab the Glock when I don't trust my own judgment. And I don't love what that says about me. Right after New Year, everybody ran drills like they had something to prove. Each gun, the pace crept up. Splits got tighter. Reset got louder. The whole line felt like a metronome. Somebody kept cranking faster. HKUSP 9mm hit the rotation, and it wrecked that rhythm. Timer chirped, and I drove it the same way I'd been driving everything else. Hard and fast, like speed was the point. First string, the USP pushback, not a malfunction, not a drama moment, just instant resistance. Like the gun didn't accept being rushed. Sight lift felt taller, return felt late. It didn't flow, and the worst part was how it looked. Everybody else kept speeding up. I was the only guy slowing down, standing there with this brick in my hands, like I forgot how to shoot. A couple of the lanes over, steel rang again. Clean, quick, like they were mocking me on accident. I tried to force it one more time, and the run turned ugly. Hits walked, cadence got jerky. The timer felt like it was laughing, so I stopped. Reset, one breath. I ran it slower on purpose, and the USP snapped into place. Group tightened like somebody yanked a string. Recoil settled. It felt strict, almost hostile, but correct. That annoyed the hell out of me, because now I'm wondering how much fast I'd been getting away with. What came after that made me speed up again, and I didn't like why. The IWI Masada didn't show up for me like some 9mm hidden gem. It showed up because it was everywhere. In my town, the shop by me had a little stack of them, like they couldn't clear the shelf fast enough. Same line from 3 different guys at the counter. Masada's solid. Price is stupid. They're moving. One dude was buying mags like he already owned it. Another guy asked for it by name like it was a Glock. That energy followed me into the parking lot later. Belt half-threaded, phone blowing up, running late. Holster on, off, on again. One setup pinched my side. Another printed the moment I turned. Another rode so high, the grip kept popping up like it wanted attention. Masada came out because it was the only one that dropped in clean without me fighting it. Slide didn't dig. Grip didn't spear me when I bent down. When I got in the truck, it stayed put. No shifting, no roll, no fix me. Wiggle at the seatbelt. 10 minutes into the drive, my hand went down and checked it anyway. Not because it moved, because it didn't, and I didn't trust that. Midsummer, sweat running down my back. I handed the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro to a buddy I trust. Not a hype guy, not a bro, it's sick guy. He ran everything clean and quiet, like he didn't need the audience. He loaded, stepped in, took one run and it stopped. No comment, no face, just a pause that lasted a little too long. Then he turned and handed it back, like it was a wrench he borrowed for 10 seconds. Yeah, you go ahead, that was it. And that silence hit harder than trash talk. Because if he hated it, he would have said something. If he loved it, he would have smiled. Instead, I got nothing. Like the gun didn't even deserve a reaction. So I ran it immediately, harder than I needed to, like I could force a different answer out of the same pistol. The Hellcat Pro did its job. It didn't blow up, it didn't fall apart. The target didn't embarrass me. That's what made it worse. I looked over at him after my run. Same blank look. One little nod, like, yep, that happened. And now I'm standing there, holding a gun that works, and still feels like it failed some test nobody wrote down. The next one on the table didn't stay quiet like that, not even close. I walked a nearby Pack Saturday block, brass bouncing off the concrete, dudes rotating lanes, somebody's timer screaming every 10 seconds, RO trying to talk over all of it. No quiet rhythm, just noise and ego. I pulled out the Canik TP9 SF, and it didn't ease into the session, it barged in. First run, the splits snapped so fast it sounded fake. Like the gun was skipping frames. Heads turned. Somebody behind me let out this little laugh. Half impressed, half, oh damn. Even the RO looked over like he smelled trouble. And that's the disturbing part. The TP9 SF didn't just shoot fast, it rewarded bad behavior. It made a little faster feel free. It made me push past my normal pace because the gun kept covering for it. And when a gun covers for you in front of a crowd, it turns the lane into a stage. I ran it again, harder, and caught myself grinning like an idiot mid-string. That grin pissed me off because I wasn't running a drill anymore. I was feeding the room. The gun had me chasing a reaction, not a result. Somebody asked, "Let me try that." Another guy stepped closer, all eyes. I set the Canik down and my heart was still racing. Not from recoil, from the fact I liked what it did to the mood. Hold up, let me see that. We were at the bench, mag scattered, sweat, brass everywhere. And I grabbed the FN 509 Tactical out of the case like I was doing somebody a favor. First thing I did wasn't load it. I squeezed it, shifted it in my palm, made that face. Man, this thing feels like a brick. And the second I said it, I was stuck. Because now it's not just a thought, it's a declaration. People heard it. Somebody smirked like, okay, show us. So I loaded it, timer, beep. I pushed pace like I was trying to prove my mouth right. And the 509 Tactical immediately started ruining my little speech. The dot tracked clean. The gun stayed flatter than it had any business staying for something that felt chunky standing still. Hits landed tight enough that I could feel my ears get hot. I tried to bully it into looking clumsy, ran it faster, sloppier, like I could force a stumble. It didn't give me one. That's what made it nasty. Not because it won, because it didn't even react to my attitude. I set it down, and the only thing that felt heavy was the stupid comment I led with. Everybody and their brother kept telling me the CZ-P10C was the popular Glock alternative lately, so it went straight into the rotation. A few mags in, it started charging me rent, not money, skin. At first, it was just a little hot spot, one of those, hey, whatever, rubs you ignore because the drill's moving and everybody's still shooting. Then it stacked. Sweat came in, grip locked down, and that texture started biting like sandpaper with an attitude. I kept running reps because the line kept rolling. Timer chirp, reset, chirp again. And somewhere in there, I caught myself shaking my hand out between strings, like I was trying to wake it back up. And that's when I looked down. Red line across the web of my hand. Not dramatic, just enough raw that you knew the next 50 rounds were going to feel personal. So I started making little compromises without admitting it. Grip shifts, thumb floats. Pressure backs off a hair, not because I wanted to, because I didn't feel like leaving blood on my own gun. And once you start managing contact instead of the target, the whole session gets stupid. You're not shooting naturally, you're negotiating with the pistol. The P10C didn't fail. It did something worse, like it made me change how I shoot to keep my hand intact. And I hated that I let it. What I grabbed after that wasn't gentle either, just mean in a totally different way. The M&P9 2.0 Compact got popular because it's the safe answer. The one dudes recommend when they don't want to argue. Just get the M&P. It runs. It fits most hands. You hear it enough times, you start treating it like gravity. So I took it to an indoor lane on a packed day. Burnt air smell, brass skittering under the booth. The guy next to me hammering rounds like he's mad at the wall. Targets whining down range. Concussion bouncing back into my teeth. I wasn't even fully settled. Mag in, slide forward. First few rounds went out and I'm thinking, yep, easy money. Then it stopped. Cold. Not felt off. Not kinda weird. A hard, dead moment right in the middle of my rhythm. The range kept booming like nothing happened, and my lane went quiet except for that ugly nothing click. Now I'm in this narrow box trying to fix a quiet problem, while everything around me stayed loud. Hands a little slick. Target carrier halfway out. The booth next door still blasting like a jackhammer. I cleared it and got it moving again. But I was pissed, because the whole reason it's popular is you're not supposed to have to think about it. And for a second, it made me look stupid in a place where there's nowhere to hide. Somebody started arguing before I even shot the Taurus GX4 carry. Not about Taurus, about the whole damn test. Like, why are we mixing carry-sized guns with everything else? And right away, somebody else fires back, because that's what people actually carry. That's what the GX4 did. It didn't walk into the lineup like a pistol. It walked in like a wedge. I picked it up off the bench, and the first thing it did was bite me. Baseplate corner dug into my palm when I seated the mag. Sharp enough that I hissed and looked down, like, are you serious? Not blood, just that quick little oh hell reminder. This is a carry gun. It doesn't care about your vibe. And the room split into two camps in about 10 seconds. One side wanted popular 9mm to mean service size, comfortable, shootable, the kind of gun you can run all day and feel good about. The other side wanted it to mean real life, small enough to actually be on you when you're not dressed like a catalog model. And here's the ugly part. Nobody was arguing rules. They were arguing identity. So I didn't referee it. I left the GX4 carry right there, like evidence, and let the tension sit. What I put on the bench after that didn't start a debate. It started a reaction. That first shot broke before I was ready. Not a malfunction, not the gun went off. My finger went early because the Walther PDP steel frame, match full size, felt like it already had permission. Heavy, steady, slick. It made me rush the moment like I couldn't miss, and that's when I heard it again in my head. Yeah, just be careful with that one. Somebody dropped that line before I ever touched it. No explanation, just that look like I was about to do something dumb with a gun that makes dumb feel smooth. I ran it again. The PDP printed clean. Too clean. Trigger broke, like it didn't have any friction. Sights tracked, like they were stapled to the target. Every rep came back looking correct. And that's what started messing with me. Because now the warning didn't fit the gun. It fit me. I pushed pace past what I'd been running because the PDP made it feel free. I skipped my little check. I didn't reset my grip like I normally did and let it ride. Then I paid for it. One ugly shot that didn't belong there. Loud as hell on the paper. The PDP didn't bite me. It handed me a razor and watched me grab the wrong end. 4 still coming in or what? That's what I heard walking into this old Austin shop. Bell on the door, AC blasting, that oil and cardboard smell that stuck to your clothes. And it wasn't even aimed at me, it was just in the air. Counter guy didn't even look up, just nodded. Last one didn't last long. 2 steps later, different voice, different dude. Let me see that Beretta PX4 Storm 9mm again. Same gun, same ask, 2 minutes apart. That's when it stopped feeling like chatter and started feeling like a wave. People did that fake browsing thing. Hands on holsters they weren't buying. Eyes on ammo they didn't need. Feet drifting back to the same glass like a magnet. When the PX4 finally hit my hand, it felt different, heavier, smooth, not plastic normal. And here's the part that pissed me off. My hand went toward my wallet before I picked a reason. Behind me, a guy said, "If he's passing, I'm paying." I set it back down like it burned me. Because that shop wasn't selling a pistol in that moment. It sold momentum, and I almost bought the feeling. And the last one on this list, that one didn't feel like momentum at all. The Wilson Combat EDCX9 didn't feel like a gun when it hit my hand. It felt like liability. And it's not the most common 9mm on the planet, which is why it landing at the top of my 2026 lineup felt wrong. Buddy of mine owned it. Careful guy. The type that noticed lint on a mag like it was a crime scene. He didn't say much, just handed me the EDCX9 and watched like it was normal. My hands changed without asking permission. I wiped my palms on my jeans. I checked the bench for grit before I set it down. I seated the mag slow, like I was trying not to scratch his feelings. That's the weird part about a legend 9mm. Everybody talked about it like it was the slickest thing on earth, and yeah, it ran clean. Too clean. No drag. No fight. Trigger broke like a thought. Everything felt tight and expensive, which should have made it easy. It didn't. It made every little mistake feel louder, like there was no slack in the system. No room to be rough. No room to be human. I wasn't shooting anymore. I was babysitting. When I handed it back, my shoulders dropped instantly, and I hated that because it wasn't relief from recoil. It was relief from responsibility. That test sat in my head longer than I wanted. Some of the popular stuff ran fine. It still didn't feel right. And the one that surprised me, I keep replaying it because I don't like how much I liked it. That's a weird spot to be in. Targets are still on the bench. Brass is still in my bag. And I'm still not totally sure if I exposed the guns or I exposed what I assume about them. I'm Steve. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm telling you what happened, and it still bugs me.